are here at the solar panel in the utility room, where we make things that we need to measure, or we use this room for, like, in case there's a power outage, we might need this kind of a thing to help, manage a little bit of energy, or a tool or something like that to manage, like, people's lives, just in case, like, we need to make some coffee or turn on a light bulb, or run a power tool, or run a security computer or cell phone. But basically, we have here another solar panel that, if you see the wire, it runs into the kitchen, but the wire doesn't stay ran when it's not in use. It's only for purposes of charging a battery. And basically we have a 12 volt battery here, and we have two more 12 volt batteries over here, but they're different sizes. Those two batteries can be hooked together, and it makes a 14 amp battery, those two, which is about I think it's a 14 amp hour, maybe. Might be a 14 amp hour. And then this is a 35 amp hour battery. And I bought these batteries on the internet, Amazon. I don't know how exact quality they are, but I've tested these batteries before, and they work, but they're not real good at deep cycling and drawing hotter circuits. You can't really hot short these batteries without screwing them up. They break. So I've broken 2 or 3 or 4 batteries already, 2, 3. But basically, we're going to do some tests. Primarily what we're going to do is, first we're going to set this cable down right there. It's good and secure. And then we're going to come over here and get a voltmeter. And our voltages, okay, so this side, this is DC current. You set this to the appropriate assumed voltage that you're going to measure. This is AC current. This is low amounts of amperage. This is your resistance scale. This is your, what do you call your diode, and this is transistor, HFE. Or no, well, yeah, HFE I think, and then here's where you plug in your transistors, your NPNs and PNPs. So basically, what we're going to do, this is a 12 volt battery, we know. So basically, what we are going to do here is measure the voltage on this battery. And currently is 12.78. It is a fully charged battery. It seems to be a little overcharged, because technically, normally, a lead acid 12 volt battery runs about 12.6. Otherwise, it may have a little bit of an overcharge on it. So we're going to say that this is brand new. I just bought this. It was shipped to me, and this is the first time it's been tested, and it says 12.78. So that means it has a little bit of an overcharge, and that's okay, I guess. It might mean something not good, but it seems to be holding charge, and it has for a while. So that's a good thing. So we don't want to actually hook up a solar panel to it while it's fully charged. There's no purpose for that. Unless we wanted to maintain it, which we would need resistance and we'd have to trickle charge to maintain a battery with full charge. So we don't need to do that. But basically, what we can do is show you what the voltage is on the solar panel. So we have this. Now, this is also the current application. This is how much current really flows through a solar panel in the window like that. Like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs, and they're really bright. So each LED runs at about 3.1, 3.3 volts. These are larger LEDs. You don't actually, well, yes, you do. When LEDs are in series like this, you add their voltages together, and that's how much voltage it takes to run them in series, from one positive side and one negative side. So basically, this panel is several volts, and we can test this. So 3.3 times 7 is about 21 volts. But what you need to know is that also that current is a factor. Current is multiplied when you have multiplications of voltage, because current and voltage are proportional. They almost mean the same thing, kinda, except we measure current in electrons, but we can also measure it in forms of energy, which is voltage. So basically, we're going to show you we're going to take this light off. We're going to show you what the voltage is said to be. We have it hooked up here. Okay, the voltage is said to be on the one in the kitchen, 16.97 volts. And if you read Ohm's law, that should be based on how much ohms are between the power source current, which is ion energy, which is ionic energy, which is in the form of particles from a nucleus of an atom or several atoms. And then basically it charges the electrons, it causes them to move, and you get a voltage reading of this. Well, the amps are actually rather low in this, and we're going to show you the amps. We have to having a little bit of trouble getting this voltmeter. Let's see. Okay, we got it put on the 10 amp setting, as you can see, and this is what we're drawing. So it's 0.11 amps of 10 So that means that it's very little amount of amperage flowing through the solar panel. That means that the solar panel itself has high resistance to the flow of its own current, which is actually kind of creating a voltage, but it's what we call slow voltage. And this is physically not understood by most people, but the voltage technically should be higher than this because I'm running a copper conductor. I mean, the amperage should be higher than this. So I'm running a copper conductor, and the 16, almost 17 volts should at least be probably like more than 1 amp, probably. But this is extremely low because the way that physics applies voltage and then reduces it by the solar panel. The solar panel itself and the diodes, well, the diodes don't matter in the solar panel. They just keep from backfeed from happening. As long as you're in the correct polarity, then the current flows freely. So, well, I don't think there's much of a resistance. It just keeps the two positive and negative from cross feeding, and I don't know if it does backfeed, but that solar panel, you can see that the diodes are across, and that just means that they don't backfeed crosswise. And it just also jumps a halfway point in the solar panel, which is like 5 volts or 6 or 7 volts. And then it just separates half the solar panel. It kind of divides it. But basically, this current should be a lot more if this was a battery or house current or a transformer. It wouldn't be this low. But since it's a solar panel and it works physically different, the way that energy flows through it, is a little different. So, but basically, that's how much voltage and current you get from one of these types of solar panels. And you can run this. You can run LEDs like this, and that typically shows you how proportionally how much voltage and current is in the capacity of, see, the one bulb is actually dim, the white one, and that means it's running lower on voltage and current through the system. So basically, you can just set that down here and run that all day long. But that's about the proportionality of the energy, and that's good enough to actually charge a 12-volt battery. But we're going to use 2 of them together in parallel to charge a 12-volt battery. It's going to be about, like it said, 16 volts, which should be safe at the low amount of current to charge this battery slowly. It takes several days to charge these batteries, especially the larger 35 amp hour battery. And then we want to be able to plug it into this power inverter here and run some coffee pots or some lights or a computer or something simple or a power tool off of it. I want to show that in another series of videos. So these videos are, I'm creating a battery too, what you call an Epsom salt battery in stainless steel, and I'm testing that as well for solar applications. But right now we've got all of our tools. We've got what we need. We're going to run these power tools that are in this box, and we're going to show how, we're going to explain how much current and how long you can run a 12-volt battery with a power inverter. And there's just several videos I'm going to make on electricity and how it works, and I'll probably talk about some of the dangers of electricity and batteries and stuff like that. Electricity is definitely dangerous. If you do not understand the theory of electricity, physics, quantum physics, and chemistry, you probably shouldn't be playing with this stuff, but I understand it pretty damn well. So I've been working with it. I'm 39 years old. I've wired a house or two or three. I worked on cars for several years. I've done several things. I play with electronic circuits, as you can see. I got soldering irons. I got electronic circuits, temperature measuring, LEDs, all kinds of stuff. Butt connectors, all kinds of stuff. Power tools, heater guns, acid measuring tools, water purity, radiation tools, electrical tape, bunch of spare parts that you collect, you name it, that's it. So there's plenty of information. Ohm's law is not absolutely accurate, and that's kind of pretty well usable law, but it's not always absolutely accurate. As you can see here, the solar panel really doesn't obey the Ohm's law proportionality, because the voltage is high and the amperage is really low, but there's not really a lot of resistance from the solar panel wire to the LEDs. So what you're really seeing here is a quantum physical demon, and solar panels are that demon. They actually supply weak energy, and one solar panel that size supplies about that much energy as those lights can show you right there, which proportionally, if you add that to a battery, it produces that much charge per second. So that's pretty much how that works. So it's pretty simple. As long as nothing heats up or catches on fire, which I can control all of that, and I have a fire extinguisher, then it should be okay, because none of this stuff is going to be plugged into the wall. It's important that when you work on electronics, you probably shouldn't short the wall current out. When you learn electronics, do not use wall current, and do not use any kind of flames around batteries or chemistry. You got to avoid all that. And if you don't know this stuff very well, you shouldn't do it, but I know it pretty damn well. So thanks for watching. This is my video on learning about solar panels.